All right, today we're gonna do a new format of story time. It's called Steak and Story Time because I'm hungry and I want to multitask. So, recently I've been going to the gym a lot more. So, no more salad diet. We're going for protein. So I pulled this straight out of the fridge, which normally shouldn't do when you cook meat. And I got rice, steak, rice, story time. I'm gonna cook steak while talking. So I'm going to talk about Maui today because, like I said in the last story, they that last restaurant that I worked at, they sent me to Maui to help because they're flipping over a restaurant to try and I guess improve it or whatever, but it never happened. But anyways, they sent me over there to help transition some recipes, and the chef sat me down and he was yelling at me a lot as normal. And he said he thought it would be good for me to leave and not be under him for a while because I guess he thought I was stuck in a rut. So, stuck in a rut of making mistakes. So I was like, okay. And then he wanted to send me to Maui. So when I was working for him, I was making 10 an hour. And when I went over there, I was getting paid 15 an hour plus overtime, and I was getting paid for every hour I actually worked, cut off at uh, not being cut off at 80 hours. And another stipulation I had was I get free rent over there. I get my housing paid for. And that's because I live with my parents. So to maintain status quo, I'm not paying rent. That's my stipulation. And there has to be a gym. That's my two things. No rent, and I have access to the hotel's gym. And he spoke with them, and then they said okay. So uh, they they oh, I think I told this story already about how the person who was meant to replace me was a sous chef, and then he just quit cooking because the first day was too hard. And yeah, I'm gonna put the steak in now. A little bit of oil. I already put oil in it. All right. So when I was they sent me to Maui. I got acquainted to the job and all that. So I lived on property, which was really convenient because I would walk for like 30 seconds and I would already be at the kitchen, which was really nice. So I lived at the hotel and I had free rent. So I brought my motorcycle with me, and when I did, my tire popped because there was a nail in it when they shipped it over. Let me angle this a little lower. They shipped it over, and there was a hole in my tire. Anyways, that's not really the story. But when I got to Maui, between Costco, which is near the airport, and the hotel, there was like a 5 mile straight stretch that had like 4 lanes going in both directions. So you could see really far, and it was wide open. And the roads were nice. They weren't like bumpy, no potholes or anything. So when I was in Maui, I spent a lot of time speeding very aggressively. So I'm gonna tell you a story of when uh, when I got pulled over and I was going probably around 120. No, no, no. I think I maxed out at like 140 to 150 miles per hour. There's sugar in the marinade, which is why it's starting to caramelize really fast. But anyways, I really liked ripping it on the freeway, and I was just going to Costco, and because when I come back from Costco, I have like 20, 30 pounds of stuff in my backpack. I can't speed really aggressively coming back to a hotel, but on my way there, I'm light and I can. So I was speeding and I was ripping it. I always speed proportional to how good the weather is, how I'm feeling, and all that stuff. And I was feeling good that day. So I was ripping it, and then I was probably going 130 to 140, and then I just see this cop on a motorcycle just go in the other direction of me. Then I was like, oh shit, guarantee he saw me. Do I slow down and let him get me, or do I rip it and get out of there? And I decided it would be better if I just get pulled over. So I slowed down a lot. And I let him catch up to me. And he pulled me over, and then he said, you know how fast you're going? And I was like, no. And he's like, you're going 90 miles per hour. And then I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was going 90 miles per hour because I thought I was going faster. But anyways, he pulled me over, and then he was like, I'm glad you stopped, because I did. If I chased you, this would have been a lot. Basically, he said he couldn't arrest me because if you're going like 5 to 15 miles over, it's considered, you can get a ticket for it. But beyond that, you would have to get arrested. So he said, you're going so fast that I would have had to arrest you. I'd either have to let you go or arrest you. And since you stopped, I'm going to let you go. So yeah, that's the time I got out of being arrested for speeding. I was going, flop this up because that side's done. I was probably going 130, 140 miles per hour. And then he pulled me over for going 90 miles per hour. But he didn't arrest me or give me a ticket. He couldn't give me a ticket because I was going too fast. And he didn't want to arrest me. So yeah, that's how I got out of a ticket and being arrested when I was in Maui. I There's not enough time to. Oh, maybe I have enough time to. I'll tell the other story. This one's going to be a longer video because the steak's not done anyways. Move that off. So when I was in Maui, I got pink eye, and then I had pink eye before, so I thought like, it's probably just pink eye, and I have to let it go away slowly. But I let it. It was probably the third day. It kept hurting more and more, and then, anyways, long story short, this bacteria was eating my eye, and this bacteria was eating my eye, and that was the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life. There was a flesh-eating bacteria in the middle of my left eye, and it was chewing at it, and then that's what the pain I was feeling on the third day was. So right when the sun came up, I called my coworker to drive me to the hospital, and then they told me that there was a bacteria in my eye that was eating it, and it came from the water, which normally is harmless, but when you have pink eye, then it makes you vulnerable to it. So I was blind and wearing an eye patch for a couple weeks. And I remember being so exhausted at the end of every day of work because having only one eye, your depth perception is off. So you're always like bumping into things and you're trying to recalibrate how you see things because you only have one functioning eye. So yeah, that's the story. And there's a permanent scar in my left eye. It can't be fixed unless they slice open my eye and put they called it a button. They slice open my eye, they put a button in it. And I said, no, I'm fine. I don't need it to be fixed. I will live with this eye. So my left eye is permanently blurry. And that's the story of my eye being blurry. I'm still partially blind to this day because of my left eye. And it sucks, but I'm used to it. And I don't want to have my eye sliced open. So that's that. That's my eye story and my motorcycle story. Oh, I guess I can talk about keto. When I did keto, I was 180. I was 180 pounds when I left Oahu. And then when I got in 3 months, I dropped down to 140, and I was really muscular because all I did was go to the gym and go to work. I went to the gym twice a day. I went to work and I did keto. That's all I did. Twice a day to the gym. I was eating keto food and I went to work. That's literally all I did. So, as you can see, I should probably let it rest some more, but I'm just eating this, so I don't really care. I want to eat it now. This is tri-tip. So proper way of cooking it would be you pull it out and leave it on the counter for a little while to let it come to room temp, so you get a better gradient from the inside to the outside. All right, let's say this piece. You see how there's a gray ring, then there's a pink on the inside, then there should be like a pinkier pink on the inside. This is as mid-rare as I can get it without tempering it, which is bringing it to room temp before cooking it. But like I said, this is for me. This isn't for a restaurant. It doesn't have to be. I'll sacrifice temperature of cooking to eat it right now. That's basically what it is. It's a 13-minute video. It's not that bad. I just marinate it in a little liquid smoke, a little bit of brown sugar, salt, pepper. I didn't do that much, but you wouldn't do this in a restaurant either. But it's just for me to eat, so I'm pre-salting it after it's sliced, and I have a mound of meat. That's a beautiful mound of meat. I'm gonna wash my hands and give it a close-up. Actually, I'll put the rice on the plate first. Let's see if I can make this look nice somehow. Pack it in. Try to make it as round as possible. I could compress it some more, but like I said, this is for me to eat, not to be fancy restaurant chef or anything. Looks kind of like a oblong football, but yeah, I'll go like this. I'll just put this on top. Yep, that's a nice high protein meal. Anything with white rice, meat, I'm happy. Okay, that's today's video. Don't worry, I'm gonna pour this on there.